Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
I've been studying Psalm 119 lately and finding so many wonderful treasures I've just got to share. Psalm 119:9 asks a very good question. How can a young man keep his way pure? I don't know about you, but I'm not particularly young, nor am I a man, but I've asked that same question. I want my life to be pure, holy, reflecting God in everything I do. So what's the secret? The verse continues by partially answering the question. It says, by obeying God's word. That seems rather obvious. If we're obeying, we're staying on the path God has for us. But if you're anything like me, or Paul for that matter, the good I want to do, I don't do. But the evil I don't want to do, I keep doing. That's my sin nature. So how do I obey? The next few verses give us some ways to do that. Verse 10 says, with my whole heart I seek you. How do we seek God with our whole heart? It's through prayer and Bible study. Communicating with God is absolutely essential. Going to Him with everything, listening to Him, and not just reading, but digging into His Word. Verse 10 continues, let me not wander from your commandments. David, who wrote this psalm, knew he couldn't keep his way pure on his own. Like the hymn writer, prone to wonder, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. That's our tendency. We have a sin nature, and without God's guidance and direction, we tend to stray off His path. Sin has its way of sneaking us off of His path. But along with prayer and Bible study, verse 11 shows us another way not to wander off the path of purity. It says, I have hidden your word in my heart, that I may not sin against you. I love that word hidden, and it's worth doing a whole podcast on by itself. I might do that tomorrow. But another translation would be, I have treasured up your word in my heart. I've memorized it. I have it ready when I need it. How do you stay on the path of purity? Know God and know His word. And not just with your head, with your heart too. That's how we can keep from sin and develop obedience. God's word is the key. Psalm 119:15 and 16 says, I will meditate on your precepts and fix my eyes on your ways. I will delight in your statutes. I will not forget your word. Remember that we're in a war, and this world is enemy territory. God's word is His roadmap, so we won't lose our way. It's also a light for our path. We need God's word. We need it in our heart and in our thoughts, in our minds, and on our tongues. God uses His word to change our hearts. Our culture just bombards us with sin and temptation, but God's word shows us a better way. We can use it to carefully examine our lives, constantly compare our next step with the Bible. Remember, His word is living and active, and He uses it to make us holy, more like Christ, but only if we take it in and apply it to our lives. I challenge you today to read Psalm 119. I know it has 176 verses, but all of them are so rich. Pick a few that jump out at you. Pray these verses into your life. Compare your attitude to God's word with the attitude of the psalmist, and ask God to deepen your love for the Bible and your love for Him.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.